Smiles all round and epic performances as the athletes in the para-dressage hit the sand in Aachen. And a soggy day in the main arena as day one of the jumping kicks off with some surprises and a Frenchman flying into the lead. Well, hello there and a very warm welcome to you wherever you are watching from around the week of sport we have coming your way. I feel like I say that far too often, but week two has already delivered on day one. We've got so much coming up for you in today's show. Let's take a look at what we have. We're going to hear from our current leader in the individual standings in the jumping. It is that flying Frenchman I referred to in Julien Epillard. We're looking forward to hearing his insights after his performance today. We're going to have, of course, all of that analysis coming from our colleagues at FEI Rating. Charlotte Smith will be joining us. We can barely contain. And we'll also have all of the highlights from the para-dressage already making me cry today. Those para-dressage athletes, again, I do not know how I'm going to make it through. Fingers crossed, everybody, stay with us. There's so much.
For every cheer, there is a story waiting to be told. It's about all the chapters written away from the spotlight, where partnerships are forged in silence and teamwork drives one shared journey. And now, a new chapter begins.
Presented by Hetzel Horses.
Well, an absolutely huge show coming your way for you this evening, recapping day one. As we say, I am not alone in the studio, joined by my wonderful friend, my colleague from FEI Ratings, Charlotte Smith. Charlotte, this week, things have changed a little bit. They've just sort of redecorated and the show jumping takes place around that. So really interesting, to be honest, the way they reshape this whole facility.
Definitely. I mean, they've coined the term welcome home because it really is the home. Because there's everything, the show jumping, dressage, para-dressage, driving. You spoke about the vaulting, the eventing last week, and it all takes place in this beautiful.
He's been covering everything in the show jumping. When I say she's been covering everything, she has spoken to everybody. He's been covering everything in the show jumping. When I say she's been covering everything, she has spoken to everybody. Today, she has left no stone unturned and she's been watching all of the sport as it has unfolded as well and taking a look at the conditions down there. And that raincoat's going to get some good use this week.
Yeah, I think that I might wear this more than anything else this week. A little bit more rain is forecast. It was just kind of quite overcast this morning and actually not a bad temperature, to be honest. But just later in the afternoon, things did take a bit of a downturn, let's say. But a lot of the riders commenting that the ground was holding up really well in the arena. There were a few of our later riders who were seriously in a downpour. Shane Sweetnam was one of them. He was quite damp when he came to us. But things, yeah, a little bit different in here. You know, the warm-up ring is holding up really well. The main arena, of course, is also holding up really well. We've seen the guys in there building tomorrow's course already. The rain has continued into the evening, but I'm sure that footing will remain really, really good. But as you mentioned earlier, quite a lot of drama on this first day. A good few shocks, a good few very good rounds. The British team actually looking like they're on a really good streak at the moment. Plenty of good rounds for them. Germany as well, sitting in a good position. Of course, you can't look past Julien Epillard in terms of the individual riders. However, of course, his team still needs to do a little bit of work. But one thing that struck me today is the feeling that you get from these riders. A lot of them are feeling quite serious, actually. A few riders who we usually chat to, and they're usually quite kind of big characters or a little bit more bubbly characters. They're really focused. They're really quite serious here. They've got a lot riding, of course, on this competition, and it's super important. This championships is one where the pressure is really, really on, not only for that home German team, not only for the teams with a lot of expectations expectation on their shoulders, but a good few teams who really believe in their chances. You know, teams like Mexico, like Canada, they have been a little bit disappointed today. Unfortunately, Erin Ballard fell off earlier on, so that was a big shock for the Canadian squad. The US team doing well today as well, so a lot of riders really taking this as the first day. Then they're going to regroup and then look ahead to tomorrow and of course the rest of the week. So it very much is about focus. Nerves of steel are required. Everybody's been commenting on how incredible the atmosphere is in the main arena. That's playing its part too. Not only the weather conditions, not only the main arena, the pressure as well. So there's a lot going on. It's quite a cauldron down here. In terms of the feeling, even when you're just walking around the venue, actually, the volume of people seems to have really rocketed up. So it really gives it such a buzz. And much like Charlotte, everybody here is very, very excited to see what's to come for the rest of the week.
Yeah, thanks, Han. We'll try to keep her contained. It's like Dee last week.
Oh, it's so good. These horses and riders have been building toward that. There's a bit more of a more focused vibe around these riders, and that makes sense. I mean, there's a lot of jumping left to do. 4 big more days left to come. They've had a good day. There's no left.
Need to hide. I felt like I want attention. You know, they've everything in that arena today, and she's actually been taking a look at the venue in focus.
Well, it's week 2 of the 2026 World Championships in Aachen. And this week our attention turns to the show jumping in the main arena. We've got 170 riders from all corners of the globe. They'll be taking part in multiple days of competition. And this is exactly where they're going to be competing and preparing for their rounds. Well, of course, the main arena is going to be the stage for our jumpers. You can see that the dressage arena is actually still in place, so they will have to contend with that, and these stands will be packed out with 40,000 spectators. Lots of the riders have commented that this is not only a very impressive arena and of course a legendary one that they've all wanted to compete at in the past, but the proximity of the crowd as well, the atmosphere is absolutely electric in both the daytime and of course nighttime when we turn to our evening class. Well, of course, the main arena is hugely impressive, but so is the warm-up ring. This is where the riders will be doing their final preparations before they take to the stage in their champion. A lot of fences in here. That means that the riders won't be interrupted in their preparations. They can all have their own jump as they're preparing, and it just gives them a bit more space to stay relaxed before stepping out in front of all of those people. Well, once the riders are ready to go, they then make their way along these tracks. They take you right through the centre of the facility, so you're quite close to the spectators, shoppers as well, so a bit through the shopping village, and they make their way from the main warm-up arena then to the second warm-up, which is right next to the main stadium. So just before they step into the main arena, the opportunity perhaps for a final jump, final finishing touches, just to make sure that everything is perfect before the all-important moments. They'll then walk up the track, that iconic archway straight into the main stadium. The crowd will be roaring and these riders will be absolutely feeling the pressure, the atmosphere.
Looking at from the lens of jumping, Charlotte, it's our bread and butter, as I've said a few times here. We're looking forward to digging into this all week. We're going to be chatting with loads of the riders, getting lots of the stories beyond the sport as well. A really interesting story.
It's back on the Egyptian would have expected or wanted to have, but that is the reality of the sport. I think there's so many of those riders are maybe a little bit disappointed. Loads are so happy, but that's how our sport goes. We're working with live animals. They have their own idea about things, but it's great for Egypt to have Sameh back on their team, fighting their flags.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was always on my mind to be at the World Championships in Aachen.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was always on my mind to be at the World Championships in Aachen. Egypt is my country. You know, I've grown all my childhood, all my friends much. I learned so much, and you know, just being around Olympic medal riders and all that. So it was a great experience for me. I have this kind of responsibility on my shoulders, and I'm hoping that me and my horse and my team are up to it. Oscar always surprises me. He's such a great horse with a great heart, and I love him to bits. Honestly, I always say, if you're having a rough time with some of the younger horses and you're not like getting the results you need, when you have a horse like him, you know that you go in the ring and he does his best for you. But he felt good today. The first few jumps, he was a little bit like, what's going on? You know, looking around, which is for me anyway a sign of a good horse, because you know they're conscious. They have a conscience. But he finished well, and yeah, looking forward to start tomorrow. The cheering and things, I think he actually takes a buzz out of it. It's just, he is a sensitive horse. Although he's a big horse, he's very sensitive and aware of his surroundings. I just have to nurse that energy as best as I can and get him as confident as I can tomorrow. And the rest, yeah, he can do everything else. I actually was watching the eventing on Clip My Horse, so that was cool to watch the cross country. Oh my God, it's like, oh my, how does these guys jump these jumps, you know? And probably they say the same things about us jumping those big jumps, but to be honest, I'd rather jump 180 Grand Prix rather than doing their cross-country course. But yeah, definitely we're here now. It's an equestrian venue. There's so many horses. There's so much to learn. There's the Paralympics. I think dressage is gonna start, and there's so many people around it. So it'll be interesting just to have a nosy and see what's going on.
The Unite Studio Show is brought to you by Hetzel Horses. From young talent to top athlete.
Truly lovely stuff, and good luck to Sammy throughout the course of the week. He's just going to have a nosy. I love that. I love it when he down. Charlotte, we're going to dig into the jumping that occurred format, because there's a bit to know about how this format works, and this speed class.
This is where the Show Jumping World Championships begins. The speed competition is the first championship class, and every rider starts here. But the fastest round doesn't always win. In this competition, speed only matters if you can keep the jumps, we call them fences, standing. All team and individual riders compete together, and the result counts towards both championships. The aim is simple: jump clear, keep moving forward, and avoid costly mistakes. The clock starts as soon as the rider crosses the start line and stops when they finish the course. But a fast time alone is not enough. Every fence that falls and every mistake adds penalties, which are converted into additional time. Every fence that falls adds 4 seconds to their time, adds 6 seconds, while more serious mistakes can lead to elimination. Once every rider has jumped, those times are converted into championship penalties. The rider with the fastest adjusted time starts the championship on 0 penalties. Everyone receives penalties based on how far behind the leader they are. That's why the leaderboard can change in an instant. A rider who looks quickest around the course can suddenly drop down the rankings after one fence falls. Meanwhile, a slightly slower but clear round can move a rider into a strong championship position. This competition sets the foundation for the rest of the week. The result carries forward into the next rounds, so riders are not just trying to win today, they're trying to build the best possible position for the championship ahead. But one mistake does not end a medal dream. Every penalty collected here is something riders will carry with them for the rest of the competition. So keep an eye on who stays clear and who leaves this first round in the strongest position to challenge for a world title. Because in jumping, championships are often built from the very first fence.
Big thanks to Rosie Russell, laying it all out there for us. It's pretty much like nothing.
You have the banks, you have the crowds as well. The stands are very time.
Absolutely. So this week on the In Out,
presenting Hetzel Horse and U21 Young Rider Series. For 1.60 m jumpers, you need horses with good scope. I can compare it with my time when I was here. I had a little horse in the Grand Prix of Aachen. That horse had not the biggest scope, but a very good mind. I think that combination comes very early in the course, so that is important that you come with a nice rhythm here with 8 stride. I think the horses which are jumping here have enough experience. They will not be spooky here in front of that combination. So for me, I think this combination will be the biggest question here today. That is to work with the young people is my passion. And I love to see people growing and to stay next to them on their way to the big sport. We did the Youth Olympics here 3 years ago. That was an amazing event I will never forget in my life. Young people, young riders with young horses developing is my passion, and I stay for that.
Well, thanks to Holger there. And stick around. We're going to bring you up to date with a competition that we have running at the moment with thanks to Holger Hetzel and Hetzel Horses. Later in the show, wow, what a prize there is to be won. Isn't there, Charlotte? You were like, hang on a minute, I want that. Oh, me too.
Oh, yeah.
The place to start is by looking at where we stand after this first day of competition. Obviously, as we explained, the teams is one thing, the individuals is another. They all jump today, and all of those scores get so an individual prizes. So Julien Epayard leads the way, Charlotte. It was some performance.
It was some performance because when I saw Scott Brash and Hello Mango go a time under 72 seconds, and then came Harry Smulders, quite a bit off the time. So they were very, very fast out there, very efficient. Hello Mango was so impressive to me because Scott Brash has this extensive string of horses that have a lot more experience perhaps than Hello Mango, not to take away from her 5-star Grand Prix win in Doha at the start of the year. But the way she came out here is like a horse that has a lot of experience, and we know what Scott can do at a major championship. He knows when to deliver, and he does. And he does, and he's done it again with Hello Mango, which is so incredible.
Yeah, I mean how it's gone, the highs and the lows. How important?
You can't win on day one, but you can lose on day one. And we've looked at the past 5 world champions, and when we look back 20 years ago in Aachen at the World Championships, at the same venue, Jos Lansing and Cavalier Kumano, they won. They became world champion then. They were only 40th after day one. They probably thought at that point, this is over for us, but it is not. There is so much jumping left to come, especially in that Aachen arena. It can get tough. So if we're looking at the standings right now, there's 51 combinations that are still within one rail of the leader. Last year, though, I mean, not last year, the last edition of these championships in 2022 in Herning, when Henrik von Eckermann and King Edward won, they were in 5th. So they can kind of come from anywhere, but we haven't seen a day one leader eventually become the individual world champion in quite a while. So can Julien pull this off? Yes.
Look at the leader after day one. Of course, there he is. This is the man we are talking about. This is his equine partner in crime. And yeah, interesting there.
It is very interesting because actually Julien was in this when he led the championship after day one. That was back then on Caracol de la Roque, who we speak so much about now with Carl Cook, who was only 9 years old back then. And he's come out 4 years later with another horse, also doesn't have that much experience, Frangon de Vescury, but came out so strong. Julien is always so fast against the clock, as we know. You know, he is the speed merchant, and he delivered once again in front of you know, a packed crowd, a younger horse. I just hope that he'll be able to keep this up throughout the championship and also for his team.
Yeah, it's a amazing speed class, and he is the master of faster, that is for sure. Let's talk about the win chances, because we obviously had, I mean, it was predictions aplenty leading into this championships, and now we have a state of play. The cards
for the Irish team. They had a very good day. They were very late to go in the draw, so they had the worst of the weather, the worst of the ground, and unfortunately one rail coming down. Not all is lost. They're still in a pretty good position because they were very fast, but that was favourites for the individual gold right now. But our new favourite is Sophie Hinners and Arndame Sinclair, who finished 4th on day 1. So incredible. That horse is so special. Ben Mayer and Point Break very early on to go in the draw. I think they were 5th to go this morning. They definitely they laid it down for everyone else to try and catch him. A couple did. I think they finished 5th. But so strong. That is a horse that has been on incredible form, won that LLN Grand Prix in Rotterdam, 2nd in Windsor, 5th I think in Falsterbo. That horse is on superb form. Steve Gourdat and Dynamix de Belém, a big shoot up in the win chances for them as well. This is Dynamix's 3rd championship, and in previous 2 championships she has always taken home an individual medal. Can she do that in her 3rd?
That would just almost like the dark horse, pardon the pun, if you like to say it that way, quietly chipping away there, and there she is now, our new favourite as we roll into the next days.
Definitely, and she really went for it today as well. I mean, she finished in 4th. These were some very, very quick rounds that we saw, so she wasn't slow by any means, but we know that this is a pair that can churn out the clears. They have done time and time again, and especially in Aachen. They've jumped 5 5-star 160 rounds in Aachen, all 5 of them clear. They were on the podium in that prestigious Rolex Grand Prix of Aachen a couple of months ago, and they're back now. We go up to 160 level tomorrow, clear after clear, and that's why she is the new favourite, because we think, and the numbers think, that she's the prime candidate to jump 4 more clears and hopefully, potentially, become the world champion.
Oh, what a story, Charlotte. Amazing stuff. We'll let it keep bubbling away quietly. I'm very superstitious. I know none of the numbers we want to do is go back. Winner, and that is that Flying Frenchman, Julien Epillard.
Well, Julien, a very successful first day for you with a win today. Talk to me about how important that is.
Yeah, it's always nice to have a good beginning. Win, not yet. I think the best 10, maybe more, are in the same thought. It's also important for the team. I think we are on the 5th place now. I have to look, but very close to the lead. So yeah, it's important. We always say you cannot win the first day, but you can lose the first day. So we are here. We are between the 5 best. So we will try to keep going and give our best.
We know that you're a very fast rider. Did you expect to be able to win today out of so many people, or be at the top of the leaderboard?
I always try to win. Don't work every time, but I had my plan, and my horse is naturally fast. Also, you need a little bit luck. I was a bit lucky on the last fence. The distance come good on the turns. Yeah, when I go in the ring, I don't think if I will win will be 5th, but I try to be as fast as possible without fence down.
Talk to me about the course today and how you felt that was for the first day.
I think it was very fair today. We don't saw big crash. It's very open here, so it was difficult enough, but not crazy difficult. It was delicate more, little fences, good horses have one down, a lot of clears also. But you have to think about the time, you have to think about the rest of the competition, so it's difficult to find a good balance between go really fast and keep the horse collect for the rest of the competition. So it was an interesting course. We will see tomorrow how the horses jump after this class.
How do you then prepare for the rest of the week off the back of a day like this?
Now I have nothing to prepare, I'm here. I will try to do my best, listen to the horse, ride a little bit in the warm-up and feel if he's a bit tired, if he's a bit fresh, if I have to work more or less. He will be a little bit feeling now the rest of the week, and yeah, try to less fast down.
Feeling good about the team prospects?
Yeah, of course, we come here for this. We want to be on the podium. Will be difficult for sure, but this level is always difficult, but we're going to fight for this.
A few people have talked about the Olympic qualification. Is it in your mind, or is that something you think about much later?
We don't come here for the 7th place. We come for the podium with the French team. This is the first idea. And after, if we are not on the podium, if we are already between the best 7, it's already good news. We are qualified. So, first the idea is to be competitive, and after the Olympic we see.
Well, fighting talk. Fantastic start for you and for the French team. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, back to the studio. Of course, a great start for the French team, but quite a lot more to do with a busy week ahead.
Super stuff to hear from Julien Lepayard there. Will we call it a victory? I don't know. It's hard to say, isn't it? Guess it is, isn't it?
I would call it a victory, because if I was in his position, I'm celebrating a little bit. Yes.
I will take more of the analysis now. As Julien was just talking about with Hannah there, we want to talk about the team standings, because of course everything that took place today in that first round of show jumping, it all has, yes, an impact for the individuals, but a huge impact stand after day one in the jumping. And there we have it there, Team Germany, very, very strong indeed, Charlotte.
Penalties, and you look at the top 6 ranked teams, they are all within 1 rail of each other. It is tiny. It's not even a second. It is less than a second for one of the riders. So there's so much left to jump. A very strong start with Laura Kraut. Great Britain, very strong obviously with Scott Brash finishing in 3rd. France with a leader. The Netherlands have been maybe a little bit of a surprise, finishing so high after day one. I really hope that they can keep that up, because that's maybe a little bit more of a developmental team that has really put their best foot forward, and I really hope they can continue. 2 more days to go for this team championship. Nicolas Philippart for the Belgians was put in a very, very strong round. No horse in this entire championship has jumped more clear rounds at 5-star 160 in Aachen, in this holy ground, than Geta right now. He's won, I think it was 13 medals already. Put down such a good performance to finish in 20th place. A lovely clear for Coolio. Maybe the disappointment was Richard Vogel and United Touch, with a little bit of a slower time, and then a rail also hitting the floor, which was very unfortunate for that German team. But like I said previously, 20 years ago, the world champion came from 40th place after day one. So if anyone can do it, it might be Richard Vogel with his United Touch. 4 more rounds to jump for that individual title, 2 more for the Germans. For the team looks good.
After day one, it's changed the win chances. Obviously, we looked a lot at those leading.
Now have Germany as the favourites, a huge boost in those win chances with those 3 very, very strong performances from those 3 German riders. The Belgians as well, a big boost. France, a little bit up. They've kind of performed like we expected, just 1% boost in their win chances. The disappointment, unfortunately, comes from the Irish team, who were the pre-competition favourites to win Team Gold. They didn't have a bad round. They had a couple of disappointing rounds. Bertram Allen, however, with Conquest Origo, that's just a 10-year-old, put in a very strong performance, a lovely clear, but unfortunately for each of the other members of the team, just 1 rail coming down, which it's a sport of margins, and it was just a little bit too much to add up, unfortunately. But like I said, there's 2 big more rounds to jump. Unfortunately, they're just behind that in it. But the Irish still haven't won a medal in a World Championship or an Olympic Games, so even getting them on the podium would be an exceptional performance.
Yeah, as we said, they have a lot of steam coming into this. It's the Taylor Swift lyric, Charlotte. How does it go?
I think I've seen this film before.
We've seen this film before, so hang on, Ireland. In the team context, we've been catching up with the riders, of course, throughout the course of the day. This is a huge stage for them to be performing upon. Nation, it sure is something else, and we've been hearing from them about how special that is.
I really was showing as a senior in that first year. So we have a lot of team spirit and we know each other extremely well. Looking forward to the rest of the week.
Markus Ehning is the one with most of the experience. By now I'm already the second oldest, so nearly 15 years experience in teams. Then we talk about the two youngest one, which are absolutely class riders on their own. Sophie and Richie both together won I don't know how many Grand Prix in the last couple of months, but we all are very experienced, we have good horses, and hopefully that works out at the end.
I think we're very fortunate to have a lot of good combinations here this week. I think it's very important to keep focused, produce good rounds, produce clear rounds the next days, and hopefully we can reach in a good spot.
Yeah, it's very good atmosphere in the team. Two young riders, two not old, more experienced riders. We try to do our best this week.
We are a very nice team. We are all friends. We all help each other. We cheer for each other. It's always nice. We represent the best country in the world, so.
Beautiful team spirit. We work good together. We fight for each other, and maybe that's our extra luck for this weekend. So it ain't over until the fat lady sings. We keep fighting.
Lovely to hear from our riders, wasn't it, Charlotte?
I love when they give those reactions and it's so from the heart, and you can really feel the team spirit in some of these riders' reactions.
Yeah, it's so nice to hear Willem go. So sweet. We love it. Touches the heart. And also we've been looking at today too, Charlotte. It's, you're not an analyst in this particular discipline, but something we've been staring at because it's a World Championships. Like I keep saying, if it's not your favourite discipline, doesn't matter which one of them it is that is your favourite, you tend to get drawn in by the others. It's a bit like an Olympic Games where you all of a sudden watching results because it's the first day of competition. One results today because that also took place. This is the Para results today because that also took place. This is the Para Grand Prix A individual final in Grade 1. The US taking the gold medal position there, the top spot. Team GBR came second there, the silver medal going their way, and the Italians very, very strong here, taking the bronze medal once again. You can see all the way down there to 10th place. And now we want to also have a look at Grade 2 because that took place today. We've got the results in that one again. So make sure I get all these. It's a big old beast, Para. You've got to get it right. Germany taking the top spot there, followed by Denmark. Team GBR in the bronze medal position. So very, very strong there from a few of those dominant nations in the para dressage. And the man, John Kyle, is keeping an eye on the para dressage and the driving for us this week. But he's going to take a little bit of a look into how all things para dressage are working at Aachen.
The Para Dressage World Championships venue, the athletes across those 5 grades. What the judges are looking for is absolute dressage, and we just make sure that it's possible for them to perform at the highest level with those small adaptations, including sometimes even here in the ring, silent applause given by waving. And amongst those adaptations is out here the mounting ramp for the athletes. Sometimes out here in the warm-up you'll also see the friendly horses who get to accompany the athletes into the ring so that their own horse stays settled and focused on the job at hand. You might be bored of hearing us saying that Aachen is second to none in its care of the horses, but when it comes to para dressage, we look after the riders as well, such as the on-site physiotherapist. So all in all, Aachen has everything in place for an excellent edition of the Para Dressage World Championships.
a beautiful look around. Charlotte and I the beautiful moments in equestrian sport come out of that para dressage arena. They are wonderful. The best thing about that silent applause and the friendly horses, if you are at home enjoying these as well. We have a huge amount of respect for all of our athletes, and our para athletes are really something special, and we've been catching up with them.
It went fine. I'm really glad with my horse, with Happy Grace, and yeah, with her energy. She had a lot of energy and she was looking at everything. She actually did not like the flowers, but I said, oh, come, it's good for you. So she did it. And I'm really, really glad that I can ride this horse, that we are a team.
I am super happy. I have a young horse, she's only 6 years old. So for her to just come here in the atmosphere in the arena, she's just amazing. So I'm very, very pleased, yeah.
I was really happy with him. He was amazing in there, yeah. He just felt like he was with me, and I asked him every kind of question. He just kind of was there and yeah, wanted to give it to me. So I love him, and yeah, hopefully he loves me as much as that.
I was super, super happy with that, and I'm going to try not to get emotional. Because I was not supposed to get to keep her after Paris. So the fact that we're even here just means a lot. She loves doing it at 18. She's, I think, one of the older horses in the competition now. But she's just like, she was spicy. She was spicy in the warm-up. So like just to have her be so keen and happy to be out there is the best gift out there.
Wowee, wonderful stuff. So lovely. We were watching, glued to our seats, watching that one throughout the course of the week. Plenty more to come in the para dressage. Of course, don't forget all of that. We want to talk to you about the schedule, what's coming your way. Of course, on day 2 of week 2, Thursday, I believe it is. I don't know. I could be wrong. Nobody knows. Yes, there you go. It is Thursday. 8:30 a.m. Of course, that para dressage kicking off again with the Para Grand Prix. That continues in the other grades. The Jumping World Championship, the second competition in the jumping kicking off. Charlotte's not going to bed. She'll stay awake because in the anticipation of it all, she won't be able to sleep. It starts at 9 a.m. These are European times as well. Check your local schedules. And 10:30 a.m. we see the driving kick off. So that will be exciting with the 4 in hand, and we'll look forward to bringing you all of that action, of course, over the course of the day here on Clip My Horse TV. Sponsor us this week, look after us here in the In-Out studio this week. We've got an amazing... Take a look at this. Don't tap the QR code, Boomer, as I keep saying. You scan the QR code and to win one of 2 unforgettable equestrian experiences. Just look at this. You can either have 2 VIP tickets to the 21st Sport Horses sales to that event. That's a huge, big party. Charlotte knows all about those. Ask her privately. Or prize 2, you can have a 2-week training stay with your own horse, with Holger, with the Hetzel team, and 2 weeks.
2 weeks. When I read it first, I thought it said 2 days, and I was like, oh, that's great. And then I saw 2 weeks.
I know.
That's incredible.
How good is that? I'll be ready for the next World Team Australia, Equestrian Australia, that straight away.
So excited. I cannot wait for the next 4 days.
I know. You're not going to sleep, are you?
No.
Fueled by Haribo and Diet Coke. We'll see. We've got plenty to come your way, of course. We are looking forward to it all.
The In-Out Studio Show is brought to you by Hetzel Horses. From a young horse to one of the top athletes.
Against the clock, it really didn't matter. Mickey, defended Kentucky.
No scriptwriter could have ever written a better story.